All right, so welcome to episode number 188 of Granblue Radio. Uh, it's an in-betweener week. We are currently in a farming event, and um, we're we're going through a few changes to this event, so we're going to talk about that. Um, and then the other thing that we're going to be talking about this week is, as you may have heard on your way in, our favorite old man in Granblue Fantasy is celebrating his fifth star as of today, and so there's a lot to talk about there. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with Rise of the Beast since that's what we're doing right now.
All right, so Rise of the Beasts. Um, it's redesigning itself right now. This is one of the first like big redesigns they've done to the event that wasn't just like quality of life stuff. It's one of the first big ones since like the time that they actually made it all four beasts at the same time, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they've changed the currency and how currency works on us, and they've added a new raid. Like, this is actually a bigger impact on the event than adding Huanglong and Keelan did, too. So let's get into how this has been working. So, we've got ourselves a new raid, Shenxian, and this boy is null elemental. It's considered an intro to V2, but what they didn't say is that if you MVP this thing, if you are like strong enough to just play through your own host, hello,
You get rewarded.
you get super rewarded. I'm just gonna have this thing play on full auto while we talk about it because things that they've done to the Rise of the Beasts prize structure are actually pretty crazy. So like are you finished farming Rise of the Beasts already?
No, because I've been busy farming a different game at the same
Oh,
time.
no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it
So
is. I've been playing a lot of Princess Connect, and that's a big farming event right now because they're having their big summer blowout. But like GBF, usually when it comes to the Rise of the Beasts, we're just like, okay, it's time to grind these 200 badges, I guess. And you do like
200, you
tons.
say?
You do tons of extra fighting, like a ton of extra fighting that you didn't want to do. And so what they've done is that they've cut off 50 badges from each elemental that you need to collect to get all of the rewards now. They've moved a lot of those rewards into the Shenshan badges. And the thing about Shenshan badges is that you actually get them in giant chunks, unlike, 2 and 4. Like, you can.
Did you like get like minimum like three
It feels
at a
like it.
time? Because I got one, and then there was two in a different chest earlier.
hmm And so it
So
just seems like these things come in big chunks, and they come up as one host every time that you get any EX plus. Any Beast Awakening also leads to a stocked up Shenshan. And so now when you do your, 8 hosts of Rise of the Beasts, um, you get essentially if you're this is a big if you're strong enough to MVP your own Zephyrus, Titan, blah blah blah, and you can also do full auto on Shenshan, who's difficult for beginners, but as you can see, like there's a lot of people who can just full auto it and walk away.
I mean, we're in the same raid doing that right now.
Yeah, yeah we are. And so like there's two things that have been coming out of this. Number one, I have more points than ever before. Like, it's crazy how many points I have.
I hit the cap so many times. I'm like, oh, I should spend these.
Because if you're in a position like us where you can even just 50% it, that's like 10,000 points from. Well, so it's about 9,000 um, from the EX Plus, and then from itself. Just, I don't know, this design's super weird. The
I'll
Chimera
take it.
combination of all four beasts.
I'll take it.
I mean, it's got freaking. Remember how much we've talked about Byaku's, or sorry, Baihu's crazy like tiger hands?
You mean it's man hands?
It's man hands. They're here still, kind of, but they've morphed into like phoenix hand claw things.
Well,
It's
that's
so
because of
weird.
Natsu. What's the English name for Suzaku again?
Juque.
Yukoi. There you go.
But
Yeah.
anyway, like crazy ass hands. Um, But yeah, that's 20,000 points from just doing your 8. Um, it's like, oh, all right. So, like I said, I've gotten more points for less fighting than ever before. Um, Now, the minus part is I have this thing pubbed to everybody. In the old days, when you pubbed an EX Plus, it was just instantly joined and someone exploded it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's only us two right here.
And, us two is going to be fine because we're, in the upper ranks. But there's a lot of people who are kind of spending a long time on these. Like, I see some people in our crew who are just like, yeah, it's minute 12. They've gotten like 30% of the way through. So, if you're not putting out crazy numbers like we do, then this is gonna take a while and no one's gonna join. And that's actually happening to a lot of the EX pluses because if you're looking just for points, because you don't need badges anymore, then it's more efficient to join these things. And there's just so many of these hosts around. Like I said, for every EX plus, you just plain get one of these, and so that spreads out the player base a lot. So,
That was the
um,
one thing I feared about when they do the double triple drops
mhm.
for raids later. And I'm like, that's the one thing I was hoping that would not happen.
Yeah, so when we go into the part where we have like double Shiva drops and double Colo drops and things like that, there is going to be way more supply than actual demand. But hopefully, um, the changes to the Shiva raid and things like that will actually fill this place up. People will actually want to be in there, you know?
Hmm.
So that's we'll have to wait until the end of the month to figure out what's going on with the new Shiva weapon, the new Europa weapon, etc., etc. Um, but yeah, even just during this right now, not just Rise of the Beasts, but um, whatchamacallit in general, the summer blowout, the summer campaign, like you see a lot of raids that are kind of orphaned. So yeah, let's see here.
Hey, look, you got the Earth drop.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, you just like here's a Leviathan Malice with 10 minutes left. You see a lot of these where there's just abandoned raids
Yeah.
in your battle your backup list. These Luos are going to finish, thankfully, but there's just so much more supply than there is demand because of how the dragon fights work. Over here in the events tab, Trip was able to get through his in 7 minutes. Here's Donpa. It's been 4 minutes and it's been like 5%. Here's
I'm in Doombas right now, actually.
here's 9 minutes from a friend of mine, and they're just plugging away. Let me go help this person. But um, that's the main downside is that this thing is worth so many points, and you're done so much earlier that these raids get turned into kind of ghost towns pretty fast. Like in the first days of this, when I was doing it, like these
Everyone was just joining and throwing things out.
yeah, but then people ran out of things to buy. Like I'm out of things to buy in the freaking Four Beasts shop.
That's a new precedent.
That's never happened before. I'm always tired of this event by the time that I even get to like having the point of 30,000 um, points. Um, well, sorry, when you have to buy the talismans for 30,000, I meant.
Yeah.
So like I like the direction they went, but holy cow.
Well, like you said, supply demand. When the supply is too high and there's not enough demand.
And so the thing is that the best thing to do then would be to increase the demand by giving us better rewards in the shop. But the thing is that the traditional dump for all of your points is gone now. Um, so let's go to the shop and actually take a look at that. So here
Or
we
your
go.
or your lack there of a shop.
Yeah, so here we go. So if I want to, I can buy the last 7 gold nuggets ever, and these won't ever be in there anymore.
Amazing.
Ooh, thank you for the follow, Aquarius. But like, I have one seal left, and then after this, like, do I buy rupees? Do you know how many rupees I have?
Uh, a lot because I have a lot.
Yeah. These champion merits are going to be useful, sure, but I can just buy all of them, like right now. Let's just do that. And so, um, these gold nuggets have usually been like the first priority, but they're not there anymore. They've all been moved into these battle badges over here, and when you've just plain done enough Shen Shan, you're done. You have all the 4 symbol stones.
Like
These are the
you're
new.
like double over it at that point.
Yeah. And
You only
so
need to get 150 to max out those drops.
and so if you haven't bought every gold nugget yet, if you haven't bought all the perpetuity rings, if you haven't done that, this is a great change. Where the first 15 nuggets are only 5,000 points. You can do this in the course of a few minutes of your strike time, basically, for getting 75. Um, let's see, it's not 75,000. It is 75,000 points, 15 times 5. And then you pick up this Eternals Unlocked treasure set if you want to, and you're just starting, and then you don't have to worry about these seals or anything like that.
Audio.
What audio? Is there an audio problem?
Wait, well, I hear you fine on my end. And I hear me.
All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep going. Um, so here's these weapons that we don't really need to use anymore, and I guess I can buy these someday, but
I guess.
there's just nothing useful in the shop
You
anymore.
could buy Soldaries.
I'm done with this shop. There's no reason for me to join these raids anymore.
And now we get to the part where there's no one joining raids again.
Mm-hmm. So this is a fixable problem. It's an easily fixable problem, but it's like I bought 4 new weapons, all of the progression ones. It's not because I needed some of them. I only actually plan on using 2 of them, but I'm just out of stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's done. It'll be nice
Right.
for you to get there with a minimum amount of time, but
That part's
150.
nice.
It's that part's nice. You can play other games. You can do whatever you want. You can work on your everything else. But given that they are specifically slowing down the distribution of gold bricks via Rise of the Beasts, because here I can go to the Rise of the Beast shop and actually turn in these. Let's see, where is that event? Is it under here? Is it under treasure? Where is it? Here it is. No, that's the wrong ones.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to buy the actual. Here's one of them.
Power ups.
So here's one that I can get, the gold brick here. But I can't get it because it requires 5 of these symbol stones,
And you only get 3 per event.
mm-hmm. There's also the summons. Where are those summons?
Didn't you? You only buy like 1 summon,
You can only buy 1 summon. That's correct.
and you probably bought them, didn't you?
No, I didn't, because I don't need them. Summons. There it is. How to buy summons here, and you can only buy 1 of these. And then if you save all of them, then next time you can get another 2. But there's just not enough to buy with these stones that's worth it.
Yeah.
It's basically gold brick or nothing for people's reckonings, because there's technically a Damascus crystal in here that you can get. Let's see. There's a Damascus crystal somewhere. I'll have to dig through it another time. But they're hidden somewhere, but no one wants to spend one of these stones, which is, 20% of a gold brick, to get 20% of a future Damascus ingot.
Yeah.
It's under here. Damascus items. There it is. Are you really going to be spending one of these 3 per event currencies to get 2 Damascus crystals? And
I think you can see people who want that.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out to me and over in power-ups. These things are so spread out. I don't like that. So we've got Damascus items, and then we've got to go to power-ups for another one.
I wish you could just search.
By what currency that you're looking for?
No, by a string.
That would be nice. So anyway, that's my complaint about where it's going. The positive part about what they did to it. What about you? Anything?
I'm still just full autoing right now, so I don't feel anything really. But
All right. So the next
you want,
part of this show is dedicated to. Is it time to talk about Grandpa?
we should talk about a little bit about the like uncapping those weapons, by the way, first.
All right. So let's go to the uncapping of the water sword.
Mm,
Mm.
mm, mm,
So the thing
mm.
about these things, there's two things that I have mild issue with. One, so uncapping them requires 5 of the Omega Anima. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't have those to rub against each other. Like I am a freak and have farmed this thing a whole lot, largely because eventually it'll be part of my blue Eternal costume when I ever stop being lazy about it.
I mean, that's a lot of effort.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. The number one reason that I haven't finished it yet is this number right here. I do not want to farm another 5,700 whorls.
Yeah, that's a lot of Angel Halo.
It's a lot of Angel Halo. But no, the other thing to talk about is these Jadites. So, um,
So you're allowed to buy 5 Jadeite from the shop itself.
which I did because my shop is empty.
The thing is that in order to get the last 3, you can actually you get them as a random drop from the raid, the new raid that they showed. Is it doable? Yes. Is it annoying? Yes.
It's pretty annoying. The only reason I did as well as I did was because, for example, I actually don't need to uncap this ever. I bought this to have it in my collection. What's the other one that I didn't work on? It's the
The fire one.
fire one. So fire actually acts. There's a distinct possibility I don't have enough Jadites for this thing. Nope, I do. All right, but like,
Sometimes it just happens from just
yeah.
doing the raid.
So the Jadites are pretty annoying. I will give you that. But the bigger block is these 5 Omega Anima. That's a tough thing to
I
ask
had
people
to
to do.
join 2 trains of Kirin Long
And I mean,
in order to finish mine.
it's really easy to farm the seals now, but like I'd rather not just tell people, "Oh yeah, you need 5 of these." Like
Yeah.
that's a lot.
You know what would be nice? They probably won't do. Make it only cost 5 anima instead of 10 anima to make it gold.
Yeah, they could do that. I don't know if they will.
I don't think
I
they
don't
will.
think they've done that for anything other than a few animas before.
And by that you mean the second the
The
like
Medusa
Medusa
series,
raids?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Medusa and Twin Element series they did that for. Ah, all right.
All right, now we can talk about
Let's
Grandpa.
talk about characters. So, we were talking about Soriz, and um, it's pretty interesting looking at the history of Soriz just as a.
I think we pointed out last time
Mhm.
where he's the only person to have 2 5 stars.
He's not.
He's
Because
not.
Catalina, Io, and Rackham, in their story versions and in their grand versions.
All right, so the limited characters and the story characters,
Yep.
and then there's Sorius.
And then there's Sorius. So it's a little weird there. Um, and the thing is that when Sorius came out 2 years ago, no one thought he was going to do anything. Like he was a popular meme character because of his song and because of his like age and personality. Like he was kind of meme status,
Yeah.
and his skill set was fine, but not like crazy. You mostly saw him in high-end proving grounds because pressing a button is worth points. So in when you already one turn the thing, you were just looking for ways to press more buttons. So
Mm-hmm.
you actually see that these days, where you'll see just like Soriz, Philosophia, and Sarunan. And it's like, okay, sure. Um, but you see Philosophia because people wanted to bring an SR just to once again earn more
Good
points.
point.
And so that was his job. He didn't do much other than just press buttons and um, earn you points in proving grounds. And then V2 came along, and V2 was like, hey, we care about the number of hits that a character does,
Yeah.
and he can
Oh,
do that.
yeah, he can.
In fact, he does that on his own.
There's
Every
also
single. Oh, go ahead.
there's also another fight that also benefited from Sori's. The Violet Knights.
The Violet Knight came out, and Violet Knight was just like, once you hit me a certain number of times, then uh, you remove this restriction I give you, to do a maximum of like it's 100,000 or something damage. And at that point of the fight, you are hurting. Like you're out of buttons to press. You're out of like sustain soon, and he's just like, all right, you have to hit me this many times before I drop my shields, and then for the rest of that turn where you hit me that many times, then you
Right.
can do normal damage to me. And so people
And
just
it,
like, wait, Sorius does all that many hits on his own. Then you attack and you're done. And it's like, oh.
yeah, he's pretty cool. But that was
So
also like what this year as
that
well.
was
So for
also
Violet
this
Knight.
year. Violet Knight was
Yeah.
this year. And so, like, a 2-year-old character suddenly shot way up in the usefulness list, given that he owns Wamdis and he does a lot of work in Violet Knight. And in general, also, after Sora's, you also got the existence of Lobelia. You got a bunch of skill cap things like the Yggdrasil Bow,
The
um,
Peruvian weapon.
the Proving Grounds weapon, Belial was printed, and all of these things add up and just turn Sora's into this crazy damage machine. It's like, admittedly, he's still not. He's never going to be a racing character. You just have to press
He
too many
plays he
buttons.
plays more by buttons.
But like when you care about damage per turn, once again, we're talking about Proving Grounds. We're talking about um, Proud Plus. We're talking about V2 solos and things like that. Like this guy's crazy, and he just got a 5-star. He's so much better now. like,
I like to look at this. I'm like, who thought this was okay
uh,
for some of these parts?
all right, you want to go through it?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about Soriz's upgrades. So, number one, Way of the Fundoshi Fist Pulverize. So, he now gains a Fundoshi Fist buff on himself when he CAs. Have you tested it out yet?
It lasts on the turn that you CA and then the turn afterwards.
Yep.
It lowers the Earth defense down by like what 10% each time, up to 30. Does about a 630k nuke. That's before all these multipliers that cap ups that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He gets 10 meter every time it activates.
Because, you know,
Please notice the wording on that.
yeah, because if you make him attack out of turn via, say, tag team or perhaps tag team, then it'll happen each time. This is something that Ingve players and who else does it just after their turn? Dante players, they take advantage of that a lot. Anybody who swaps out with Silva.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's good stuff. So next up, after level 80, we get his level 90 upgrade, which is so he's a weird one because his skills barely change. They looked at his skills and they're like, you know what?
No.
These are good. these are fine the way they are. What we're going to do instead is we're going to. He's got 2 support skills. We're going to up these. So level 90, you get reactive muscles plus.
He turns
So
into a monk in that regard. For every time he presses a red button, he will get
a
a stack.
manliness level. And before he had to get hit to gain manliness.
To be
Um,
honest, he would also get hit a lot because of his first skill, his first passive in the first place.
yeah, and also his third skill. So it actually built up decently, but now that you can press a bunch of skills on just turn one and just get like 6 manliness, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
It raises and each time raises his attack, it raises his defense, and it raises his damage cap.
So they just looked at him in Granblue Versus and said, reactive muscle should have more than just supplemental damage. Let's just add all this to it.
Because yeah, he was already gaining supplemental damage, and that's at max stacks. It's 50k, so it's a lot when you have it on Bravado Bullet. Let's
Oh yeah.
we'll go back to that. But now he gets 50% unique attack up, 50% defense, and then a 10% cap up when he is at max manliness. And unlike being a monk, if he's low health, it doesn't go
Doesn't
away.
matter.
So he's just a they were just looked at monk and they went, we can make this better. let's not penalize him for getting hurt, given that he's a tank.
Oh man, this character is wild, and also the attacks on unique modifier too.
Mm-hmm. So then at 95, he gets burlier with age plus. So um, mostly just the numbers go up. Just your casual boost to hostility, sure, whatever.
Oh
More
yeah,
hit
there's
points.
another thing.
What's this last thing, DJ?
Can use the same damage skill twice in a turn when Macho ultimatum is used, huh? Huh.
Hmm. Huh. So you're saying that he can hit these skills instead of 4 times in a turn, you can hit them 6 times in a turn.
Oh yeah.
That's totally not crazy. Like Zeta can do it. Why is that broken? I
He
don't
can
get
give
it.
6 attacks on turn one.
Oh my
And
god.
it was what was it? It was said that you can only activate that passive once per turn or something like
Correct.
that.
So if you keel in on turn one and you macho ultimate him again, so the pattern goes: you hit these once, then you ultimate him to refresh them, then you hit each of them twice, so that's 6 times. If you use a keel in again on that turn, and then you hit Tenacious Will and Bravado Bullet, so that's 8. Then you macho ultimatum a second time, and then each of these still only casts once. So if you want to maximize the Keelan cast, then you wait 1 turn.
However, in that one turn, apparently you can also just bring these 10 stacks.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's something you can do, yes. By the way, have you actually looked at the proc rate of his EMP skill before?
it's like 99%.
It's crazy!
I've noticed it because it mattered a lot for me in raids for the Whamdis raid.
This guy is wild. Please continue praying for Grandpa. He just needs to be stronger.
Look, people put him low in the Granblue versus list, so they had to increase somewhere, just like Bubs. Bubs in Granblue versus doesn't hurt you. Bubs in this game, he hurts like a truck.
They're just making up for things, that's all.
They're really making up for Granblue versus.
Oh, jeez. So, Soriz is going to be really fun in Unite and Fight. He's not necessarily going to be a part... Like, he's still a terrible full auto character.
Because
Uh,
he casts his skill 3 first.
he casts skill 3 first. Um, but I'm sure there are going to be some crazy setups that people are doing. Like, the usual top-end power level suspects for YouTubing have been putting up their Soriz videos with Soriz at level 100. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, this is a casual 150 million damage in 2 turns. This is fine.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong here.
I see nothing wrong here. Or DJ Salt put up his video where it's just like, this is how to understand how Soriz works in 1 minute.
Oh yeah, the Violet Knight one.
The Violet Knight one where he just kills Violet Knight from 15%, which is, I believe, the health point at which he enforces that damage cap on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have a chance to play that part.
that part's crazy cool.
Can we also talk about how like Soriz himself could max out defense down?
With his stackable Earth defense down and his stackable defense down.
Yeah,
Look,
that's very good.
by the way, we haven't even talked about his level 100 upgrade yet because it barely matters compared to this.
Compared to everything else, yeah.
So the last update that he gets is Tenacious Will Plus here. Um, his it increases the damage per hit for Tenacious Will. Okay, sure, whatever.
Sure, you
But
were capping anyways.
but remember how a lot of these characters were just like, all right, you know what their biggest flaw is? They just never gain multi attack.
So let's get multi-attack.
You just give him multi attack over the course of a long fight. So they know that he's going to be used for like 2 turn kills and 1 turn kills and things like that because he just gets used a lot for there. But they're just like, you know what? In a longer fight, let's just make him a meter machine. So he's gonna give himself passively over the course of the fight 20% triple attack, and after he CAs, he's just gonna give himself 20 of that meter back. It's fine. This is all fine.
The DATA is like 10% DA, 4% TA, stacks up to 50-20. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Given that he is melee spec, and you're gonna use a lot of the melee teams, it's like Lobelia Chicken. Just casually raise his damage cap and have him at basically 100% triple attack. This is fine.
Oh, Lobelia and his ability to make it so that every button also does another nuke.
Another million some damage. Yeah, this is all very fine.
I feel like we're playing a game of this. This was playtest. This wasn't playtested.
Nah, I
Maybe
think
it was.
this is fun. I think this is fun. Like, this is a different way of playing. Like, remember how we just were in the race meta where everybody was just hitting attack and refreshing and hitting attack and refreshing?
Yeah.
This is different from that. I appreciate this direction for the game.
All right, so Dom.
What's up?
So for our favorite thing during the broadcasts of how much damage you can do in 1 turn, I think we kind of increased it a lot by this one.
We really did, because he was already part of that. How much damage can we do in 1 turn? Let's find out. Let's use Soriz, Lyria, Lobelia, and Kime.
Oh, I can't wait for the next stream. It's probably in 4 months.
It's gonna be in the Christmas stream, yeah. Ugh. All right.
Keep praying for your grandfather.
So there's one more thing to talk about, and it's the 2 new characters that were introduced in the not premium gala, the Flash gala. And so,
Oh yeah, that came out a couple days ago.
all right, so let's just scroll through very slowly until we get to it. Oh, there it is, my little Mim. This is now my favorite weapon in the game. It is actually a just plush Mim Lemel.
It's a harp.
It toots. It's a harp. It just toots when you squeeze it. But the character herself is crazy. So I have never seen a character so designed to go specifically with an evoker. He said, trying to forget the fact that Soriz was literally 30 seconds ago. So here's Mim Lemel. She's been in SR hell forever. She's been in SR for her entire time in Granblue Fantasy, basically. She has a regular SR, she has an SR where she just wants to die, and she has a Halloween SR. And so when they revealed this character, we're just like, she's got to be an SR, right?
Well, it turns out.
Turns out that she got the coveted 10 rating on GameWith. And by coveted 10 rating, I mean people just sort of laugh at their ratings usually. But
I mean, yeah.
10's a lot. And so, why is this, do you say? So number one, on turn 1, she can give your entire team plus 70 meter.
Well, that's kind of cool. You usually start with 30.
Who needs to bring Huang Long? Who needs to press other buttons? Just press Ocean.
Yeah.
Just press this button, you have full meter.
Hey, Dom, what does button 2 do?
It raises the cap.
Oh, by 20%? That's cool.
Then this one, it's a shield, it's a veil, and it's a dispel cancel.
Okay.
Admittedly, you only cast it once, but all of these only ever get cast once.
You really don't need to cast them ever again.
Hey, so DJ,
Because you
tell me
can't.
about what's happening with Mugen. How often do you press his buttons, DJ?
Depends on which version of Mugen I'm playing.
I see. What about Uisis Mugen?
All right, so he has no buttons.
He just sort of casts stuff.
He casts skill 2 once, and then that's the fight. That's the fight for Mugen. He blacks out, and it suddenly it's over.
The uh, the way that she's designed is kind of cool too, where she surfs up on using any skill. At level 3, her
Oh,
attack and her damage cap go up, and she always triple attacks. It's like, okay, alright.
let's see here: 30% unique attack, 10% damage cap, and guaranteed triples.
And her triple attacks, I wish that we could look at the animation for these, by the way, because it's like so Mario Kart. It's great.
So we actually spinning.
She's spinning. So she has the Grimnir Valentine's third attack, where it's 3 hits. It splits her damage into 3 hits, gives them supplemental damage.
40 k each.
So she just gets an extra 120k at the end of her triple attack, which is
We're also,
guaranteed.
and
But
also it's not ignoring the fact that she's a melee character.
yeah, she's a melee character, which means if you use Hollow Sky Axe with her, it'll add another 100k on top of that, split into 3. Um, the number one thing people are running into when they're just using her for anything that's longer than like, oh, the exact length of an Alanon ability is she does tons of damage and then she faints. So people were like, wait, faints? As in she KOs herself?
No, it's dizzy.
No, she stuns herself for a turn. Um, and it is clearable. So if you just choose to clear it every time that she CAs, then she doesn't lose a turn. Otherwise, you sort of treat her like a gunslinger or soldier. Or you can play her with Alanon in the back instead of in the front.
I thought Alanons requires you to take DOT.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you can force it on yourself.
Fair.
Like you can. I believe you can use the Prometheus staff with this, and
Oh
she
yeah,
just
you're
sets herself on
right.
fire, and then Aladon just says, "Oh, what's done? Just continue going on, my child."
Man,
This character is wild.
her Halloween version was really good too, from what I remember, and that was an SR.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going up.
And then she also is an SSR swimsuit Harvin, which is a first because we've had like the summer Harvins are like Suframar,
Lunalu.
Lunaloo,
Uh,
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 uh, Arulamea and a Yukata.
yeah, that counts.
So, anyway, this character's wild. I don't plan on using her because I don't have Alanon and won't have Alanon for a while. But still, like there is there is such crazy synergy between her and Alanon. And even if you don't have Alanon, she still just does all of these things once. So you're just like, oh, as long as the fight's over by the time that these drawbacks come into to play, then it's fine. This character's great.
She spins.
She spins. Oh, there was an SR Charlotta. People reminded us of that one. Thank you.
And low. Yeah, there was.
There is a Summer
there was
Luell.
yeah. But this is first SSR
But
that's not
but
our
yeah,
Arulu.
we've named off 2 Rs and like 4 SRs. So the point continues to stand with all of the things that people keep bringing in.
Well, Shiraishi was happy.
Shiraishi Sharo ticketed her. It's like, bravo, sir. Well done. He stayed on brand.
All right, you want to talk about the next character?
I do.
This is
So,
this is your girl,
all right, where did she go? Hold on, let me find this.
Earth.
There, I know it was Earth. I just had to find the gun, which is actually a gun. We'll get to that. So, Summer Silva. Uh, the funniest thing is, so when we joined, well, I joined this game in 2015 ish, and Um, Silva was a pretty popular character at the time, and every summer since 2015, people have predicted Summer Silva. It's like this is the year for Summer Silva, 2016. No, this is the year for Summer Silva, 2017. No, this is the year finally Summer Silva, 2018. This is where we see the Eternals in summer outfits. No, and so the sixth time that they've predicted this, or fifth time,
Look, if we eventually will hit.
we got it. We got it. We got there. So it's still funny to me. Like every poll that says who needs to be in a swimsuit who hasn't been in there yet. Like Silva's always top 5. Like people have been wanting this for so long, so they finally cracked the seal on this.
And people are rejoiced.
People rejoiced. Her play pattern is really funny. So the Silva specialty, she fills up her meter. And there it is. She's got it. She goes charge attack, damage is boosted, charge attack damage cap is boosted. It's like, wait a second, max HP is lowered. Why is that? Well, you see, Vacationing Eagle, the cooldown is actually 1 turn.
Yeah.
So
It turns 1 turn after at level 55.
So on turn 1, you instant CA standby. Then you CA, which dispels and delays, by the way, so that's really handy. Then you do it
Dispel?
again, next turn. And then you get another dispel and another delay.
Wait, does it dispel? I don't remember that.
It does dispel. And then you do
Oh,
it
yeah.
again on the 3rd turn, and it dispels and delays. And then she has like 2,000 hit points, and you're like, what do I do with this character?
Well, there's another thing you do on turn 3.
So on turn 3, it's exactly turn 3. Her attack and CA specs, blah blah. Blah. So she pushes herself into the back line and then
That's
gives them a buff. So it's a combination of what her water thing does, along with like a little bit of Ray, and a few other characters who swap themselves to the back. So number 1, attack and CA specs up for Silva backup fire.
See here, that goes up to 20% CA damage cap up, to 50% CA damage up, 20% attack up, and then you're gonna take double damage.
Yeah. So bonus damage will be dealt upon attacks. How much is the nuke that you get after you attack?
Let me check that.
Is it 6 something K?
420k.
420K. Okay, that's fair. But you get it after every time you attack, and in Earth you can attack out of turn a decent number of times in certain setups. Funny thing. Did you know? I don't know if you were here for these conversations, that if the character that she pulls in dies, and she comes back in, she actually has full hit points again.
Yes, because it will get rid of her debuff on her.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, let's do
Because
this
that's
all
how-
over again.
Because it's the same as how when what's his face, Baja HL, not Ultimate
Ultimate
Baja
Bahamut.
HL.
Knock somebody into the back,
Yeah, they get rid of all their buffs and debuffs.
including permanent ones.
Yeah.
So her support skills, she's got a low defense. Her CAs do more damage than normal. She has a permanent uplift because I don't know. I guess if you're using her beyond turns 1 through 3, then you can do that if you want.
Here's the thing with because Sandy Sniper, she's also gonna take double damage. She gets hit, so don't let her get hit.
Yeah, don't.
Good thing there's like a Baihu staff, I believe.
There's a
to
lot
give
of ways to
hospital.
avoid getting her hit. You can use her with Soriz.
You can give Soriz the Baihu staff.
And then the last one is something that they pulled out of her light version, where when you get the Chain Burst Diastrophism, she does another nuke at the end.
600k, nothing to laugh at.
Especially since it's raised by skill cap up, which you really should start thinking about using in Earth if you aren't already.
Oh yeah.
So, this is a fun-looking character. I don't have her yet. I will probably spark at the end of the month and then end up with her. We'll find out what I actually end up with at the end of that spark. Stream
Is it
it.
gonna be a Spark? Yeah, Spark stream.
Hell yeah, it's got to be a Spark stream.
Wish you luck.
It's got Silver
I
Silva
don't.
involved.
I stopped streaming mines because I saw my luck when I stream, and I saw my luck without streaming.
Yeah, so
But
the
yeah,
into hiding thing on Wiki says that she's just um not targetable. But I don't know. They actually said that zero hostility shouldn't be a thing anymore. Are Grands excluded from the last summer banner? Nope, they're available. So this is there's a lot of potential. Like she's a definite combo character, and people have been figuring out how to use that with Ray for a while. I don't have Ray. I'll learn how to use this. Maybe I'll roll Ray and Silva, and then I'll have to learn how to use it in 2 elements. I don't know. All right, I think that's it. We're
yeah,
good.
that's about it.
Oh, phew. So anyway, it doesn't have to be zero, just a small enough number that is functionally zero, but it still means that she'll get hit sometimes. Um,
Well, that depends on if you will actually do the testing for it or not.
uh,
Big numbers.
Law of big numbers, you just get hit by Hydrozoa enough times by Wemdis. The the reason that they took out zero hostility was actually because of Earth also with Yaya. It's like they changed the way the game works because of an SR. Remember that, DJ?
Yeah.
But maybe it only matters if it's from EMPs. But I'll have to look up that patch note again. That patch note was a while ago.
That was what, 2, 3 years ago?
And it's all because of this character and these two
Well,
hostility down nodes. It's like, okay, this can't go to zero anymore.
good. She never get hit, and she gets to do all the shit she wants to do.
That was fine. I think she deserved it.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
All right, so that's it for this week. We got a good talk in next week. It'll be Unite and Fight. We'll be well into our full auto phase, but we'll be looking at also let's see here. So the end of the month is going to be when the new Magnas come out. So we'll have previews of that. Hopefully, we'll have the Romeo Uncap to talk about. Hopefully, and the Romeo and Juliet event, Part 3, the one where they try and make up for Part 2.
Look, so we already have Romeo and Juliet with stands, right? The next thing to do is to go to space.
What?
Yes.
I I know for a fact that going to space in GBF is number one on the minds of every single society fan. So
Because of Spaghetti Syndrome.
if we go to space and we're not immediately going to the moon, there will be riots. So let's not go to space until January next year.
All right, so what's another crazy place you can go? Because I was just thinking like Macbeth in space from that Jimmy Neutron episode.
What about Zoe's house? Does Zoe have a house? Is she just sort of floating out in space?
Oh, give them Lex. Yes, that's also possible.
Give them mechs. Well, I mean, let's just go back into that. We already have at least
3
two
mechs.
mechs. 3? All right, let's just talk about the characters who are mechs. Hold on. So we've got
Topanga.
Pengi's Earth. We've got Fire Colossus. What's the third mech?
Oh, I was thinking of Kogios.
Oh, so okay, those count. Those actually count. Damn it, you
So we
got
have
me.
5 then.
We have 5. We have Lancelot, Gawain.
Oh, I know, and then we have the Kobus.
Those are little tiny size and they can't breathe in space. They get shot into the atmosphere in Sakura Tyson 3. Son of a!
All right, so we're at 8.
No! We have 8 robots already. Don't Don't do this to me.
Oh, Joy!
Joy is also capable of going to space. This is terrible. Lady Caterpillar doesn't exist. She's officially a delusion. Don't worry about that one. But wait a
Nope.
second. Oh no.
I don't count that one. That one's too small.
But you know what isn't small? Where are you? Where are you, another sky? There you are.
Oh, the Mechavira.
The Mecha Vera. I am not counting it out that they can go to space with the Mecha Vera, given that it's based on the Psycho Gundam.
All right, take your bets for. Actually, probably because we beat the week after because it starts on the 29th. The story event.
But it'll just be the previews. So we'll know in the previews probably if they're going to space or not. Please don't go to space. I will not be surprised, but I will just be sad. What if it was Romeo and Juliet, but in space this time? Oh my god.
Look, I just want to find out what Bill the Bard's up to because he was in both of their Fate episodes.
I want to know what that freaking art is. What is he standing in front of that he's just in a freaking door?
It's Lancelot.
It's not even an oxymoron shaped door. It's just like a door. Oh jeez.
I don't know. Don't the characters think that Romeo's dead at this point still?
Some of them do. Others no. It's
Like,
very fuzzy.
it's really fuzzy because it's like the start of his Fate episode starts at the end of the end of the events, and then he becomes like assassin or some shit.
He's going around just like Batmaning things, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we left off. It's a door to space. Can we get off of the space comment?
You're welcome.
Can we stop talking about space?
All right.
Where did this come from?
It came from me.
Damn it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you next week. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. We're all idiots. And the worst part is this is plausible.
Welcome to Granblue Fantasy. What kind of game?
What kind of game is Granblue Fantasy? Well, it's one where you shot a man into space and they took out his brain. And, we're not going to find out what happened to him for another 5 months? 4 months?
Maybe even longer? I don't know.
Moon's haunted.
Yeah.
Moon's haunted.